We started our 10-day adventure at Hope Lutheran. We said goodbye to our families and we headed to our first hotel in Cheyenne. Along the way, we encountered beautiful landscapes, a dinosaur wearing a cowboy hat, and a surprising hailstorm that Paul's car was really excited about for some reason. But all that fun had to come to an end when...
We broke down.
That's right, our trusty Suburban that had only broken down 2 other times on trips before decided to break down on the side of the road, all before a huge rain and thunderstorm was headed our way. But with the help of some gracious locals and a good dose of karaoke, we were able to have high spirits as we got into our new truck and drove the rest of the way to Cheyenne. The next day we drove to Denver and arrived at Coors Field to take a tour of the Rocky Stadium. While in there we got to see great views of the stadium, go into some cool behind-the-scenes rooms, stand on the field, go in the dugout, and steal from a big piggy bank. Overall, we had a fun time getting to see the stadium before it filled up for the game that night. Then we went to the Denver Museum of Nature and Science, where we found some cool spinny chairs and many, many disturbing taxidermied animals on display. After that, we took a quick dip in the pool before the Colorado Rockies game. There, we ate ballpark food, won some free bobbleheads, and even found ourselves on the Jumbotron. After that, we had some more epic pool time. The next morning, we drove a few more hours to reach our home for the next 5 days. When we first drove through the town of Las Animas, we immediately understood why our work was needed. This desert town had needs that we could see just by driving through town. Almost every house and building we drove past looked run down and needed to be painted and repaired. When we finally arrived at the high school where we would be staying, we got acquainted with our new living situation. Once we got settled, we gathered together for the opening program. We met our program leader for the week, Austin, played some fun games, and sang some worship songs. We were then given our new work crews and found out what our work projects would be. We finished our night by getting together and writing our first sponsor letters of the week. On day 1, we were awakened by a very pleasant wakey wakey over the intercom.
Wakey wakey work campers.
With our matching work clothes on, we headed to the cafeteria and waited in a long line for breakfast. Once we had our morning program, we piled in the cars and headed to our work sites. When we arrived at our residents' homes, we realized that there was a lot of work to be done. Both teams spent their workday scraping, priming, and getting to know our residents and their stories. Working was no easy feat, however, because this was the beginning of our 110-degree workdays. Luckily, there was a singular Dairy Queen in town that every work group stopped at to cool down after a hard day's work. After ice cream, we took some cold showers and got in line for some interesting cafeteria dinner. We ended our night with program and then hit the hay to prepare for another long day of work. The next day, we were off to the races with more painting, construction, and water breaks to try to cool down.
We are painting a beautiful little house over here. Like scraping off all the old stuff, priming it and painting it all yellow. Yeah.
When asked how hot it was outside, Connor's response was...
Hot. Feels like the Arctic. It's hot.
Tell me how you feel.
Not good. I'm hot and sweaty.
Cool. How about
I'm
you?
getting a little bit delusional. just hot. Hot, period.
Brr. So cold.
Day 2, we really started feeling the exhaustion from the sun. During breaks, we found ourselves cooling down with ice cubes, fans, and spray bottles. By the end of day 2, we were all ready to head to the school and collapse on the floor. Day 3 was our half day, and we were so excited to have a decent amount of cloud cover this day, making it about 10 degrees cooler. We also worked pretty fast that day, knowing that a community pool was awaiting us after lunch. When we arrived at the pool, we were confronted by an angry 12-year-old girl who cursed us out. But that didn't dampen the fun that we were about to have. With water slides, diving boards, funnel cakes, and chicken fights, we had an excellent time cooling off at the pool. Then we had dinner at Village Inn, where all the girls ordered hot chocolates on a 100-degree day because they are psychotic. Then we went to Walmart to buy some items that the community needed for their rehabilitation programs. After that, we hurried back to the school for our nightly program and talent show. Pippi and Gretchen performed their Big Shirt act, where they impersonated our program leader, Austin. There were no winners at the talent show, but they definitely won.
Don't stop coming in, and don't stop coming in, don't stop coming in, don't stop coming in. Okay, I think that's probably good.
At night, we wrote some more sponsor letters and went to bed. Day 4 started out with a lovely breakfast that Brent scarfed down. It was on this day that we all started feeling like we could really finish our projects, even though we did have one of our ladders stolen. We were also met with many treats and drinks that were either given to us by locals from the community or our friendly resident Debbie.
What is your project this week?
We are painting this house. We chipped it and then we primered it, and then now we're painting the house and the trim for Ray and Debbie.
What has your favorite part of this week been?
Probably all the new friends that I've made back at the school and the camp, and just growing my faith and just helping out the community.
What is your least favorite part of this week?
Probably the heat, but I think the pool makes up for that. But other than that, it's really great.
What is one thing you've learned this week?
I've learned that helping the community not only helps like the house, but also helps the residents with because they don't really get out too much, and it's just nice to be social with them.
Overall, we had a productive work day, and we were ready to finish our projects the next day. Day 5 of our work week, we were excited to put the finishing touches on our residents' homes. With determination and teamwork, both of our crews were able to get their projects completed. We took some photos, said our goodbyes to our lovely residents, and went back to the school for our sending program. During the program, they told us some pretty amazing stats for the week. That week, Las Animas had 236 campers from 11 churches across 9 different states. This consisted of 40 work crews that worked at 28 work sites. 97% of those projects were completed, with 7,410 hours of community service. We got down one final time and said goodbye to the town of Las Animas. On our way home, we decided to stop at a few different places. Our first stop was at Cave of the Winds in Colorado Springs, where we went on a haunted cave tour. Some of us were scared, some of us were haunted, and most of us were winded because we had to crawl throughout a lot of the cave. Then we drove into downtown Denver to see Frozen on Broadway. We laughed, we cried, and some of us fell asleep. Our penultimate day found us at some places that none of us had ever been to before. Our first stop was at Voodoo Donuts, where we all got donuts that could send you into a heart attack. Then we made our way to Boondocks to fulfill Thor's need to go go-karting. We also did mini golf, laser tag, and a zip line ropes course. Finally, we had to stop at the world-famous gas station, Buc-ee's. Paul was very confused why this place existed. We gathered our souvenirs and settled down before the final leg of our journey. Our final day was spent picking up our fixed Suburban and driving the rest of the way home. By the end, we were all very ready to go home to our families and sleep in our own beds again. Throughout the trip, we were all amazed by the relationships that were built throughout the week.
So my favorite part of going to Las Animas was the service work was great, but honestly my favorite part was getting to know the kids better. I think they all know this. I was deathly afraid of them, that age group, when I started my internship. And so I worked with Paul all year on confirmation, and going to Las Animas with them really helped me connect with them more, create bonds. I really respect and admire each and every one of them. Working beside them, talking to them, listening to their music, finding out about their likes and their dislikes, just really changed a lot for me. And so yeah, that was definitely the most meaningful part.
A special thank you to my sponsors who made it possible for me to go on this mission trip. I had an amazing time and I would love to do it again, but thank you so much if you sponsored me, and thank you to Hope Lutheran Church for being so welcoming.
Whether it was a sheriff that helped us on the side of the road, or a neighbor thanking us for our work, or even a new friend we made by chatting and painting a house together, we all felt God's presence around us because of the people who were with us. Finally, we had to stop at the world-famous gas station.
I try to help you out, and I can.
For a second, I thought you were singing
I made some big mistakes. You made the worst one look fine. I should have.
Day 2, someone get me out of here. I'm terrified.
Have you made any new friends this week?
We'll say frenemies.
I haven't used a roller at all.
That's smart.
Is it?
No. Cool. And do you have a favorite story from this week so far?
Probably when Lucas was on the ladder singing Zach Bryan, and it was so funny because it was just so funny.
All right.
Lucas, your form is awful. Better, yeah. I'm unimpressed.
Yeah, me too.
Is this going on the video?